Back in February, when I introduced myself to the class, I told you that I was awaiting decisions from the UC schools that I had applied to. I told you a lot about myself in that first talk, but I didn't tell you that I was fast approaching 67 years old. The famous UCLA basketball coach, the late John Wooden, said, "It's what you learn after you know it all that counts." Well, I love this quote and believe it to be true, especially in my own life, where I have seen time and time again what opening my mind to new information and possibilities can lead to, even when everything seems to be so incredibly hopeless or when I've reached what feels like a dead end in my life. 43 years ago, after being lost to drugs and alcohol for 5 years and newly in recovery, I seriously entered the workforce. I was armed with a high school education, a typing speed of 65 words per minute, as well as a lot of gumption. Fast forward now, 20 years later, when I completed a certificated program through UCLA Extension for fitness instructor. And with that, I started my own personal training company. And now here we are, 23 years later. I'm on the verge of graduating from SMC with an associate's degree in art history, and I'll be transferring to a UC school in the fall. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going until the very end. But what I'd like to tell you about is my journey over the last 3 years and share with you the experience that led me to SMC, what my time at SMC has given me, and finally, where I am today in my pursuit of a bachelor's degree. Now, I know it sounds corny, but life is a journey, not a destination. In the midst of COVID and sheltering in place, my plans to move from San Diego to Los Angeles to be closer to my child thwarted, I decided to enroll at SMC. I mean, after all, there was no one taking classes on campus and everybody was completing their courses online, so I did it. I enrolled. I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to pursue, but I did know a couple of things. First, I love art, making it as well as looking at it, and I love to write. So the very first classes that I enrolled in were Design 1 and English 1, and that's where my journey began. And I got to tell you, what a journey it's been. I also need to tell you that I love learning, even when it's super challenging, like it was in that first design class, when I couldn't for the life of me grasp the mechanics of perspective, or when I had to come up with ideas for the essays I had to write in that very first English class. But I didn't give up. And about 3 semesters later, I was able to draw my version of Rapunzel, her gray hair, tying Leonard Cohen to a kitchen chair, as well as being published in the 25th anniversary edition of SMC Writers Club anthology, of which I was secretary for 2 terms. I decided at the end of winter session 2021, after taking art history 2 with Professor Donahue, that I really wanted to pursue a degree in art history. He presented a scholarly paper by the late Dr. Linda Nochlin titled, "Why Have There Been No Great Women Artists?" And within her paper, I was introduced to 17th century artist Artemisia Gentileschi and her painting, Judith Slaying Holofernes. I mean, this painting fueled the feminist flame that's within me, and the course of my studies was determined. From there, I was able, with the help of my academic advisor, to determine everything I needed to transfer to UCLA and other UC schools. Every class I've taken, as well as my participation in the campus-wide art activation by our artist in residence, Matika Wilbers, Changing the Way We See Native America, has challenged, enlarged, and changed my ideas about the world I have lived in for the last 67 years. I am more convinced than ever that despite the challenges I faced in my life, or really maybe because of them, including the last 3 years I've been at SMC, that I am meant to take everything that I have learned and move forward in my pursuit of an undergraduate degree. So I'm excited to tell you that I received yeses from all the UCs that I applied to. Berkeley, Santa Barbara, as well as my first choice, which was UCLA. I said yes to UCLA, and on Saturday I got to go to Bruin Day. It was so exciting. You never ever know where life is going to take you, and I hope that the experience that I've shared with you will inspire or provide hope to anyone who thinks they've screwed up too badly or are too old to pursue a degree. By first sharing the experience that led me to SMC, what my time at SMC has given me, and finally, where I am today in my pursuit of a bachelor's degree. Also, I want to remind everyone to make room for the magic. I will wrap up with another of my favorite quotes, this time from author Richard Bach. Here is a test to find whether your mission on Earth is finished. If you are alive, it isn't. Thank you.